Now that you know how to create branches and then how to merge branches, it is very high time for me to teach you what's the difference between git merge, git rebase, and git squash. Basically, all of them are responsible for combining branches, but the way they manage the history of branches is different. So I'm going to give you example one by one, and I'm sure you'll understand their differences. So let's start with a simple one, which is going to be our git merge. We already have seen how to create branches and how to do the merging, but this time we'll very carefully look into the history of branches, or how they manage the commit history. So let's see, I'm going to draw for sure. So what my plan is, I will start with master branch here. That's my plan. And in the master branch, I'm going to create few commits. So let's say this is going to be commit 1. Let's put it here, commit 1. And then I'm going to create another commit here. So let me just copy and paste real quick. And there you go. So drawing is going to help you for sure. Try to give your focus. So this is our master branch. And then from commit 2, I'm going to create a new branch. Let's call it feature branch. So this is going to be a new branch here, which is going to be feature branch. Let me just spell it right. And here we'll make few more commits. So let's say it's going to be feature 1 commit. I'm just going to write it down in short. So this is going to be feature 1. And then we need one more commit just to understand this scenario. So it will be, let's say, feature 2 commit. There you go. And let's try to realize it. So we are moving like this for an example. But then what happened if we come back here in the master branch and then we create another commit, C3. So let's say this is going to be our C3 commit. And then we want to merge with this feature and C3. And what will happen when we want to merge? So this is something we're going to see, and how the history, commit history will look like, we will see that. So let's create the scenario first and then we'll understand. So I need to create first these two commit in the master branch. Let's do that. So let's create a file here, and the name of the file can be anything. I'm going to use test1.txt, and let's say hello1. This is going to be my first commit, and I'm going to write it down here. Let's add the changes, but first of all we need to initialize git here. Great. And then let's add the commit here. Great. Let's give the commit message, and it's going to be, let's say, commit 1 from master, or first commit from master. Great. And there you go. So now we have our first commit. Let's add one more commit. It's going to be hello2, and I'm going to add this commit and also add the message at the same time. So add all the changes and make the commit. This is what I'm going to at the same time. So now we have two commit in the master branch as we have planned. And now we're going to switch into the feature branch, and we're going to make two commits there. That was our plan. Okay, so let's do that here. Let me go back a little bit. There you go. We're going to switch to the feature branch. But when we're switching, we want to create this branch at the same time. So now that we created and switched to feature branch, it's time for us to create at least two commits here. So let me do that. But before doing anything, let's see the commit history, git log. How does it look like? One line. And we can see that at this moment we have first commit from master and second commit from master. But remember that we are in the feature branch, so we have all the commits from the master. We haven't made any commit called C3 yet. So let's just try to understand this, okay? And now what we do, we are going to create a new file. Let's say test2.txt, and we're going to write few things here. Let's say this is going to be feature 1. Let's add the changes. And let's make the commit. So git commit -m, and let's say first commit from feature branch. There you go. And then I'm going to add one more commit, feature 2, and then let's add the changes and change the message here. Okay. Second commit from the feature branch. There you go. So we have our scenario. So far so good. We wanted to make a scenario like this, and now we have it. But let's go back to the master now. Let's say somebody else is working the master branch, okay, and they created a new commit here. So let's make a new commit as for our plan, and I'm going to name it C3 this time, okay. So let's create a commit here. I'm going to go to the test1.txt. Let's add a thing and then add the changes. and then make the commit message here. So I'm going to add and write the commit message. This time it's going to be third commit for the master branch, from the master branch actually. So there is a mistake I did. Now how can we change this mistake? So if we want to change it, what we can do, we are going to change the commit message. We're going to amend, and let's say third commit from master branch. And this is how you can change the commit message if you make any mistake. So let's see what is the commit history we have. Git log, one line, and there you go. Now we have 3 commit from the master branch. This is very good. Now let's go back. We will switch to the master branch. We'll switch to the feature branch. There you go. Great. So far so good. As per plan, everything we did. But now remember, the feature branch has no idea about this commit 3, because feature branch was copied from this commit 2, and that's why it doesn't know anything about this commit 3. But now we want to merge. So if we want to merge now from the feature branch, what we can do, of course we know how to do this. So we need to go to the feature branch, which we are already, and now we can merge. So git merge, and then we can merge the master. So we are doing it, and when you will merge these 2 branches, there will be a new commit created. So it's very important. In your case, you might see this message here, but in my case, I'm going to see it here because I set it up this way, and I'm not going to change anything. So I'll just close it. There you go. So now we can see there is a new commit created here, and we can check all the commit history. But when you will merge, how the commit history is going to look like. So remember, C1 was the starting point, then we had C2. From there, we created the feature, so there will be F1 and then F2, and then finally it will come back to this C3 when we merge. Remember, this is very important for you to understand. So first C1, then C2, then we created F1 and then F2, and then we created this one. So it will be in an order, and you will see the commit history. So let's see the commit history. Git log, one line, and there you go. Now you can see that first commit from master, second commit from master, and from here we went to the feature branch. First commit of feature branch, second commit of feature branch. That's great. And then we come back to the master branch. We created the third commit, and finally when we merged, there was a merge commit. So remember, when you are using merge, there will be an extra commit created, which is going to be the merge commit. Now I hope you have understood the way the entire commit history has been managed when we have used merge. So merge basically will give you a detailed history of the commits that you are making in the branches. Okay, now let's move back. So what we're going to do, we're going to do exactly same thing, but this time we will use rebase, and we want to see what the difference will be. So now let me just copy and paste down below. We're going to create the exact same scenario, but here what happened, I'm going to write it down in short. So when we have merge, I'm going to write it down again for you, so maybe it will be better for you to understand. I'm here going to write, we have merge, and when we have merged it, let me put it here. How did it happen? So the order was C1 first, and then C2. So just let me put it like this: C1, then C2, and then we went to F1, F2, and then we create a new commit in the master branch, so C3, and then we had a merge commit. So that's how the entire commit history look like in case of merge. But now let's see how does it look like if we use rebase this time. Okay, so I need exactly similar kind of feature. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy these 2 things again back from here to here. So give me a moment. I need these 2. Okay, just a moment. There you go. Copied it, and I'm going to paste it here. Great. So we will do exact same thing, but this time we're going to use rebase, and I want to show you how does it look like. Okay, so let's select this, and I'm going to put rebase here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything that I had, and for that I'm going to delete even the git things from our repository. So remove rf.git, and this is how basically I'm deleting the git from here. Now it has no knowledge about git, so I'm going to delete even all these files that I have. just to show you everything from scratch. Okay, so let's see what we can do. We can delete this test one, and finally we can delete this test two. All right, so let's start implementing our plan that we have. This is what we want to do, and we want to see how rebase basically handle or manage the commit history when we combine them. All right, so let's start with the first one. Here I'm going to create test one just like before, test1.txt, and then I'm going to say, of course, let's start initializing it here just like before, and there you go. We are going to create our first commit, hello one, from the master. So git add and dot, then let's make a commit here, and let's say first commit from main. All right, and then we're going to make our second commit, and we are going to give the commit message here. At the same time, we are going to add the change, so am second commit from main. There you go. So as per plan, we have two commit in this master one. Now we're going to create or switch. So let me just take out this one, so this might help you. All right, so we are in a situation like this. We want to create a new branch from this master, git checkout feature, but at the same time we want to switch to that one. Great, and now we can start making commits. So let's create a new file, and let's say feature one. This is going to be the first commit from the feature branch. So let's add the changes, let's make the commit, and let's say first commit from feature. Great, and let's add one more change here. Let's make a new commit message for this one, second commit from feature. Great, so we have our plan that we are executing, and now that we have this, so we'll switch to the master and we'll create a new commit here just to see what happens if we merge, how the history is going to look like. So what is our plan? We'll move to the master branch, we'll create a new commit, and then we'll try to merge. Let's do that. Git checkout master. Let's add something here for a new commit, and let's go and give a commit message here. Let's say third commit from master. Great, and now we will switch to the feature branch again so that we can combine them. Feature. Great, and now what we are going to do, we are going to combine by rebasing, and then we want to see how the history is going to look like. So before I'm going to use git rebase master, I want to explain you how it's going to happen. So first of all, git rebase keeps the history very clean and linear. And how it is, so basically the master is the base one, and this is the derived one. So from master, feature is created. That's why it will take all the commits from the master first, and then it will take the commits from the feature. So how it's going to happen, first the C1 from the master, then C2, C3, all the linear, the history is going to be linear in the master, and then it will go to the feature one. It will have F1, F2, and this is how it's going to look like when you will rebase. So it's linear. What do I mean by that? First, where the source was, so all the sources from master will be displayed here, and then feature, all the commits from the feature. So try to understand again, it will take the base commits first, and then it will go to the derived commits. That's how it's going to look like. So this way commits are more cleaner. I hope you got my concept. And also remember one thing, in the previous one, we had an extra commit, which was merge commit. But this time it will have no extra merge commit. Okay, so let's see if we rebase. I have rebased here, and now I want to show you the git log. How does it look like here, so that you will understand. Git log, one line, and there you go. So hopefully you will understand now. Look at this commit history. So when we have merged the branches, how does it look like? First commit from main, second commit from main. We're saying main, but it's basically master. Third commit from master, so it's basically should be all of them should be master. That was my mistake, but anyway. then first commit from feature, and then second commit from feature. So I hope this example is making sense to you. And now finally we're going to look like, we're going to understand what is the squash is going to look like. If you have understood the rebase, so basically it's going to be same as rebase, but it's going to squash all the commits from the feature into one. And you are going to see that. I'm going to use another example for this one. So let's try to like copy everything from here. I'm going to copy and I will go down below just to explain the squash one now. So let's start from the beginning. So what we're going to do, we're going to create test1.txt file. Remember that I deleted the Git file here, so there is no Git history here. We're going to start from scratch. So let's initialize Git again, and then let's add first commit hello1, and then we're going to say git add dot git commit -m. Now that we have done it quite many times, so I'm not going to explain that much. First commit from master. Great, and I'm going to make the second commit here. It's going to be second commit from master. Fair enough. And then let's add one more commit. This is something we can do later, so let's just check out the feature branch. Git checkout, and then let's go to the feature branch. Feature, but remember you have to create and check out at the same time. And let's create a new file here. Just do .txt. And then what we're going to do, we are going to write here, let's say feature1. Let's add the commit changes. Let's make the commit. Git add, git commit, first commit from feature, and then let's add one more thing here, feature2. This is going to be our second commit from feature. I'll add one more. We have to add the changes and make the commit. So let's add am. Let's make one more change. Let's add the changes and make the commit. This is going to be third commit from the feature branch. Okay, so now let's see how it's going to look like if we rebase here. So git rebase. Remember that we added one more in the feature one just to explain the scenario really well. So let me just copy and paste it. Copy, and then we can paste. So this one is going to be feature 3 commit that we made, and then let me just draw it here. And this time what we're going to do, we're going to rebase and squash at the same time. So git rebase -i, and then what we're going to do, we're going to use auto squash auto squash, and then we're going to use squash with the master. And if we do something like this, this is very beautiful thing that now we have. Remember that what it's saying, basically it's saying you have third commit from feature, second commit from feature, first commit from feature. So here we made 2 commits. Let me get rid of this. We did not make third commit this time, just to understand. So here, so what happened when we have like rebase and we have squash. So let me write down the entire command that I have used. Command git rebase -i. That's basically going to open the editor, auto squash thing, and we have used -- auto squash. In the end, we are squashing with the master. Okay, and we will start rebase. So let's do that. Here, is there anything we can do? You can see that we have few options: peak, squash. So we can squash. Let's try to understand what is going to happen if we squash. So we're going to squash this one. Now you can see third commit from feature, first commit from feature is here. Let's say we are going to squash this one. And then if we keep it like this, what will happen? I will show you. So here we have start rebase, by the way. So I'm going to click this start rebase. Let's click it. And now we have a command line open here. And this is going to tell us how it's going to look like in the end. So I'm going to close this time. And then we have one commit here. Don't worry about that. We'll go with the login history again, git log one line. And this is very important for you to understand. So what happened here basically? So we have squashed some of the commit from the feature, and you have seen that I have done that manually. So we have the first commit from master, we have the second commit from master, but we have only one commit from feature. But remember, we have all the thing from the feature branch. You see, feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. So there were 3 feature commits, but we have in the end only one. And this is what we wanted, because when we are rebasing F1, F2, F3, we just wanted to make it one single commit. And this is what happened. So C1 and C2, they are linear, and after that F1, F2, F3 become only one commit. So let's say F squash here, just to explain this, okay? In the end, F squash, so all the commit became only one commit in the end from the feature branch. So I hope it makes sense, and that's all in this video. I hope after watching this video you have understood what's the difference between git merge, git rebase, and git squash, how they organize the history of the commits when we are merging the branches.